Are the grandparents of your children getting on your damn nerves? Do they overstep their boundaries and feed your children ice cream at 2 a.m.? Do they completely ignore that you just might want to be there for your child's major milestones? Do they show up unannounced because they haven't seen their grandchildren in a long time, or too long, as they call it? If you answered yes to one or all of these questions, you may be dealing with a case of GPS, grandparenting syndrome. Good thing you're watching this video because I'm here to help you. For all the parents out there, the first thing you want to do is identify the problem. Obviously it's them, but you want to figure out what specifically it is about the way that they grandparent that bothers you. After you've given it some thought, make a list and check it twice. And we'll find out why grandparents are so naughty and not always nice. Now, as you're completing this list and you're looking at it, checking it thrice and twice, ask yourself, is there anything I can do to make this situation better? Now, this is unlikely because you're perfect, but still, go ahead and ask yourself. The next step is to, of course, blame them for everything. Blaming grandparents for all the problems in the relationship with their grandchildren always works out great. Or you could allow room for them to be grandparents. If you trust them, allow them to make a few rules for their space. Within reason, of course. We don't want our children sledding off the roof now, do we? Oh, the things I say. The next step, of course, if you're brave like Rambo, is to approach them and let them know, I'd like to have a conversation about how you grandparent. Now, before you have this conversation, ask yourself, are they going to be open to having a conversation about grandparenting their grandchildren? I don't know. The next step, of course, if they want to have the conversation or they don't, it's okay to set limits and boundaries. After all, you're the kids' parents, right? Crazy to think that you might be the parent of your own children. Imagine that. Once you set these boundaries, you've got to stick to them. If you've tried everything to help the relationship with your children's grandparents and nothing seems to work, it may be time to consider getting professional help or counseling. Now, there are a couple things I need everyone to remember. Parents and grandparents. Grandparents should be following the rules of the parents, but kids do need their grandparents. When grandchildren first enter the picture, expect some adjustments. I call it the storming phase. The storming phase happens all the time in our lives. It's the first step to finding a new normal. And finally, parents, however you identify, don't sweat the small stuff. Ask yourself, how big of a deal is this really? If you found any value at all in this ridiculous but important video, then subscribe to this channel. I'll post more content like this. Is that good?
That's pretty good.
Okay.